The story begins with our protagonist and a couple of guys asking him to handle the cleaning by himself since they don't want to be late for their part-time jobs. He tells them not to worry, he'll take care of it, since, after all, he's the popular one among them. Though deep down, he thinks it's all just a joke. MC is a lonely boy who ends up doing the work alone because his late parents always told him to be kind to others, and that way, he'd never be alone. He also firmly believes that God watches over every good deed he's done, which is why he doesn't mind. He's sure his girlfriend will be there for him, after all, for someone with no family, she's all he has. Still, he wonders why she called him out so suddenly. Being the gentleman he is, he thinks to himself that it might rain today, so he should bring an umbrella for her. But on the other hand, we have an overthinker who thinks to herself that the protagonist should be arriving soon, it's so cold, or is he taking forever because someone asked for his help? That kind side of him can't say no. He's always helping people. And that's why she keeps wondering if it was because of that nature of his that he couldn't reject her confession and ended up dating her. Now that she thinks about it, she was the one who asked him out. But she'd like to see the protagonist's true feelings once in a while, so it shouldn't matter if she lies to him a little. Just then, the protagonist interrupts her thoughts, arriving at the scene and asking why she called him there. She responds with a mocking smile, revealing she's breaking up with him because she found someone she likes. The MC is left stunned, his thoughts a mess of frustration as he stares at her with bitter sadness. Meanwhile, she watches, convinced he's about to snap and show his true colors. She coldly informs him she's now dating an actor she met through modeling work, someone handsome, charming, and confident, unlike him. After saying all this, she thinks in her mind that MC would hold her and try to stop her. But to her shock, he simply thanks her for everything, leaving her confused. Why does she look hurt when he's the one suffering? Panicked, she asks if he's truly okay, and he forces a smile, assuring her he is. He's not charming enough to compete, but he won't make a scene. Ever the gentleman, he even offers her his umbrella, telling her to take it if she wishes him well. Damn, that hurt. Alone, he finally lets the tears fall. His parents had promised kindness would keep him from loneliness, yet here he is, abandoned because he wasn't enough. Time passed, and the winter of his first year of high school came to an end. Now, in the next spring, another girl watches for him, dressed in their old high school uniform. She got her high school uniform, and she thinks if the MC notices that she is also using the keychain that MC gave to her, so she hopes that MC would notice. For months since the breakup, his wounds are still fresh, so she hesitates to confess. Still, she yearns to stay by his side. When he finally appears, gloomy as ever, she teases him, asking why he looks so grim. He brushes her off, but she persists, prodding him about his loneliness. Why does someone like her bother with him? Annoyed, he snaps that, so she whispers in his ears, made him to say some wired noise, and cause of that she starts to tease him again. She talked about his gloomy face and warned him that if he kept that face, he wouldn't be able to make any friends that my bro needs. Hearing this, his patience wears thin, yet he stays composed and apologizes. This makes this girl worry for some reason, so she starts her annoying tone. She callously warns him that apologies make him seem weak and says that cause he was like that he was perceived as trash and unsociable. Okay, that's too harsh for MC. Anyway, but he swallows his anger, agreeing quietly. She scoffs, declaring he's nothing but trouble. He accepts this too, though it stings, since their accidental meeting after his breakup, she's done nothing but mock him. The list of kindness he did to others, but on that he still got dumped by his girlfriend and ridiculed by his junior, who he had become familiar with by chance. Were his efforts never enough? He questioned himself. Things couldn't get any worse. His ex was in his class, constantly making his life miserable. Every morning and afternoon, she found a way to get under his skin. And if that wasn't enough, his junior never missed a chance to mock him on his way home. There was no escape. So, he decided to seek refuge in his favorite cafe. At least there, he could have a moment of peace. Or so he thought. Upon arriving, he noticed a maid taking orders, telling customers to wait their turn. The two guys in line obediently complied, eagerly waiting just for her. That's when it became clear, this maid wasn't just any maid. She was infamous, known for her sadistic personality. With a wicked grin, she watched the customers fawn over her and muttered under her breath, calling them a bunch of pigs. Seeing her like that, the entire cafe seemed to light up, her admirers reacting as if she were some kind of idol. After serving other customers, she finally arrived at table number 2, his table. Spotting his gloomy expression, she smirked. You don't look happy. It seems like you need to be punished. Even though he showed up, he was still sulking. Fine. If insults were what it took to snap him out of it, she was more than willing to oblige. With a teasing glint in her eyes, she handed him his drink. Here you go, slave. Her declaration immediately drew jealous stares from the other customers. She turned to them and sneered. You're all just pigs to me. But he's my slave. She boldly announced that she would never call anyone else that. Only him. Because no matter what she said, he never reacted. How boring. The protagonist stared at her, wondering what had happened to her. When she first started working here, she was quiet and shy. Did the praise and attention twist her into this? The more people worshipped her, the more she mocked him. And that was the pattern of his life. Every time someone changed, they made fun of him. Noticing his silence, she snapped her fingers. Are you even listening? Are those ears just for decoration, or did your parents never teach you to look people in the eye when they speak? He was listening. But how was a kind person supposed to respond to this? He was tired of the same nonsense. He had done everything his parents taught him, he was kind, he was patient. But none of it mattered. He recalled all the things girls had said to him, his ex-girlfriend casually asking if he was really okay with their breakup. His junior sneers that he always apologizes for everything. And now, this maid mocking him simply because he never reacted. And finally, he snapped. As she continued, don't just doze off in your own world. He slammed his hand on the table and shouted, how dare you call people that? The entire cafe fell into stunned silence. Even he was shocked by his own outburst, but he refused to take it back. I won't come back here again, he declared, standing up. She froze, her expression unreadable. Then, in a rare moment of vulnerability, she blurted out, you don't understand, I always smiled for you. I worked so hard just for you. His eyes darkened. It's just like you said, he replied coldly. You called me a slave. But that ends now. He turned away, taking one last glance at her as she reached out, trying to stop him. But she couldn't. He walked out, his heart pounding. Was that too much? Maybe. But for the first time, he felt free. That hollow kindness he forced himself to show? He was done with it. His ex cheated on him. His junior mocked him. His favorite senior only ever insulted him. His parents raised him to be kind, but everything built on that foundation was a damn lie. Was he destined to be alone? His mother always said she fell for his father because of his kindness. But now, he saw the truth, she had raised him to be a simp. His father had drilled it into his head that if he ever got mad, people would hate him. But now, he finally understood. He wasn't put on this earth to say yes to everything. From now on, he would speak his mind. This time, he's determined to break free and reinvent himself. First, he chops off his long hair, because, let's be real, it only made him look like an anti-protagonist. After the cut, he stares into his own eyes in the mirror, which doesn't entirely make sense to me, but hey, whatever works. He dives into self-improvement videos, builds self-respect, and transforms into an alpha. By the end of summer, he walks into school with a brand new look, turning heads as he passes. Meanwhile, in class, this girl named Akane is lost in thought, anticipating her next encounter with him. Before she can dwell too much, her friends call out to her, inviting her to karaoke, but she declines. They tease her, urging her to confess before she regrets it. She brushes them off as they leave, secretly wishing she could just spend time with her senpai. Walking down the stairs, she replays her friend's words in her head. How could she possibly admit her feelings without ruining everything? She's too embarrassed, too much of a coward. Maybe if she just sticks around, he'll figure it out and ask her out instead. Wishful thinking. When she reaches his classroom, she's surprised to hear from a random classmate that he already left. Strange, he always waits for her. Maybe he's sick? A perfect excuse to get closer. By sheer plot convenience, she manages to catch up to him. He looks different now, but those ears, those unmistakable features, confirm it. Target acquired. She refuses to let him walk away today and suddenly tackles him. "Senpai," she calls out. Annoyed, he shoves her off. "That hurt." She barely apologizes, instead teasing him. "Did you get so desperate for a girlfriend this summer that you'd beg me?" But when she finally looks at him, her smirk vanishes. She's shocked. His expression is cold. "Shut up. Your noise is giving me a headache." She freezes, stunned into silence. He continues, voice sharp, "What's with that summer break debut, anyway? Don't make fun of other people's efforts." She stammers, but no words come out. She can't even defend herself. He glares at her. "Why are you reacting like that? I'm just giving you the same energy you gave me." Akane stands there, just looking at him, her face unintentionally cute. He notices it too but quickly shakes the thought away. He scoffs, "Anyone is fine, huh? As long as you can laugh at me, right?" Tears well up in her eyes. "It's not like that," she whispers. She apologizes, her voice trembling. "You think I have to forgive you just because you're crying," he snaps. He turns to leave. Desperate, she grabs his sleeve. "Wait," she sobs. But he's already made up his mind. She pleads for him to stay, but in his head, he wonders, why is she crying? This is her fault. Things would have been better if she had just stayed the same. Their relationship is over. Besides, it's not like he cares anymore. His mental health comes first. And when it comes to girls? Well, he's not doing too badly. But we all know how this is going to go, it's only the first chapter. The scene opens with the MC saying goodbye to his junior. Even though the junior's heart is clearly shattered, he just sits there in silence, like it's straight out of a tragic emotional anime ending. The MC, meanwhile, turns inward. His inner monologue kicks in as he reflects on the decision he made, to cut off all ties. Ties with Koval, who mocked and scorned him, with his ex-girlfriend, who cheated on him, and even with his favorite maid, who crushed his heart without mercy. And then, boom, the scene jumps back 5 hours earlier. At school, the MC is walking to his classroom like it's any normal day. But today feels different. People are staring. Whispers floated around. Some girls ask each other about who he is, clearly impressed. The MC notices the attention and wonders, why is everyone looking at me like that? He starts thinking about how he's always been the friendless guy. But still, he feels a tiny spark of hope, maybe all the effort to change his appearance actually paid off. With that thought, he confidently continues walking to class. Inside the classroom, a group of boys is chatting about their summer crush stories. The moment the MC enters, the room pauses. The guys stare at him in confusion, they don't even recognize him. He silently walks over to his desk and takes a seat. Then, realization slowly dawns on everyone. He is the same guy, their classmate, just in a completely new skin. Compliments begin pouring in. They're shocked by his transformation. And the MC? He's feeling great inside. His inner monologue lights up, he exclaims with pure joy, saying he feels like he just leveled up like Jinwoo. He remembers every little step that brought him here, the skincare routines, the late-night workouts, the fashion research, the colored contacts, and even a simple, clean haircut. While his classmates continue talking about his summer debut, the MC reflects, at the very least, I changed what I could. But, the truth still stings a little. He's still friendless. No one's come up to talk to him. He tells himself he doesn't care about pleasing others anymore, not after everything. But deep inside, he still wonders, will anyone talk to me now? Just then, as if summoned by that thought, a girl calls out his name. He turns his head, and of course, it's her. The girl was the catalyst for all his change. His childhood friend. His ex Asakawa. He begins explaining in his mind who she is. Of Cause for Us. A current model, one of the most admired students in class, constantly in the spotlight. But to him? She's just the girl who dumped him last winter. Technically, he doesn't know the full story. But as far as he's concerned, that's what happened. She might be an idol to everyone else, but in his eyes, she's nothing but a heartless, villainous woman. Snapping back to the present, he coldly asks her, "What do you want?" With a mischievous tone, Asakawa smirks and says, "So, this is your summer debut?" Then she throws a jab. "Even if your appearance changes, it doesn't mean anything." The MC's anger flares. He admits to himself, her face might be beautiful, but her personality is absolute garbage. But he reins it in. He reminds himself, "I'm not the same person anymore." With confidence, he responds, "You can assume whatever you want." This catches her off guard. She's at a loss for words, clearly not expecting that. Watching her struggle to respond, the MC smiles. Seeing her confused ruins her perfect image, he thinks. He recalls the betrayal and hits her with a direct question. "Why are you so concerned about me?" He reminds her, and the class, that they're nothing more than strangers now. "We already broke up," he says coldly. The whole class gasps. Whispers spread like wildfire. People start connecting dots, realizing she just called him by his first name, and yet, he's saying they broke up? Asakawa panics. "That's not true," she blurts out. But before she can explain further, the MC cuts her off. "Why am I wrong?" he asks. "Weren't you the one who cheated on me?" Dead silence. The class is stunned. They weren't expecting this kind of drama, and now everyone's staring at Asakawa in disbelief. One of her fanboys can't believe it and demands answers, asking, "Is he wrong? Did you really cheat on him?" MC thought he'd hinder Asakawa's modeling career, so he never mentioned their relationship or her cheating to anyone. Even though it's in the past, if people knew she had a boyfriend it could cause a scandal, however that caring conscience. However, that considerate mindset for her well-being has long since faded. Now, everyone is turning against her, murmuring about how cheating is unforgivable and calling her the worst. Some even claim the rumors about her twisted personality are true. Asakawa tries to defend herself, saying it's not like that, but now everyone is questioning her character. The boys in class urge her to say it's all just a lie. One girl even comments that a bloodbath is about to start. MC watches as everything around her begins to unravel. There was once even a fan club that idolized Asakawa. Either way, she must be feeling extremely uncomfortable now. She glares at him while walking away, a smirk on her face. MC feels speechless, but also strangely satisfied and relieved by what just happened. For now, this is his farewell to Asakawa. Their separation is final. Suddenly, a teacher enters the classroom and asks everyone to take their seats. She reads the class register and announces that Asakawa will be absent for a while due to health issues. MC isn't worried at all. With everything that's happened, he believes it's only natural. Good grief, he thinks, everyone cried and moved on. As for his ex-girlfriend Yumi and the maid he liked, Rurairai, he's decided never to go to a maid cafe again. There's still one more person he needs to cut ties with. On the way home that evening, he finally ends things with his kohai. She tells him she doesn't have the courage to speak, but he cuts her off before she finishes, telling her he doesn't care. He walks away, leaving her on her knees, crying and calling him senpai. MC realizes now that he's changed. The next day, his goal is to make friends. Sitting alone, he starts thinking about how to go about it, but quickly realizes that striking up a conversation isn't easy. He notices a classmate reading the same magazine he likes and finally gathers the courage to stand up and say, "Excuse me." However, the boy, Karyama, is distracted by a friend before even noticing MC trying to speak. MC quietly sits back down, trying to remain calm. Karyama's friend begins venting about having a fight with his girlfriend, saying she's not speaking to him and he feels depressed. Karyama asks how he feels, and the friend says he feels lonely and wants to die. Karyama tells him to hurry up and make up with her, and the friend agrees. MC just sits and listens to the conversation. On his way home, he feels disappointed that he wasn't able to talk to anyone. He thinks he might have been able to speak to Karyuma, but he was too caught up in a lover's spat. As MC thinks more about fights, he realizes he's never actually fought with anyone before. Was that recent confrontation with the girls a fight? He thought he had changed, but if he couldn't even express how he felt, was it really change? At home, MC starts doing push-ups. He's tired but manages to push himself to 30 reps before giving up. He never cared about working out before, as long as his clothes fit. But to his surprise, it's kind of fun. Looking at himself in the mirror, he wonders why he changed his appearance. He should be happy about it, but he can't help feeling something's wrong. The next morning, MC is woken up by his alarm and the sound of birds chirping. He ended up sleeping terribly, but there's no point in stressing about it. He's determined to become the best version of himself today. While running to school, he reflects on how he can't remain an introvert if he wants to make friends. That mindset won't change anything from before, and at this rate, he'll end up alone forever. He believes today will be different from yesterday. Since he shares common interests with Karyuma, he wants to try talking to him again. But suddenly, negative thoughts creep in. He starts to wonder if he'll just be annoying. Still, he cheers himself on, telling himself he needs to man up and approach him. At the train station, MC walks up the stairs, feeling the heat and eager to board the train. Suddenly, he notices someone familiar. While everyone else had cried and moved on, he still wonders why she's here at the train station, Kurosaki. She asks him to give her a chance, but MC questions what motivates her so strongly. He still doesn't understand. He asks her again why she's here, and once more, she asks him to give her a chance. MC then asks what kind of chance she's referring to. She responds that she wants a chance to be by his side. He's confused and asks what she means. She tells him it's because he was her first love. Yes, this is the story of Akane Kurosaki's first love. It was winter, during the 3rd year of middle school. In class, students are chatting. One asks another if they've listened to the new King and King song, noting that it hit #1 on the charts and is really good. Another student mentions attending a Taniki Sisters live show. The two continue talking loudly, even though exams are approaching, and they really should be studying. Meanwhile, other classmates remain quiet. Kurosaki is looking at her phone, watching Saba Fiction's latest music video. She thinks it absolutely bumps, as always. She feels like their music supports her, even though the band is obscure and not widely known. While still daydreaming, a friend calls her name, asking what she's listening to. Kurosaki turns to her friend with a bad habit. She smiles and says she's listening to an obscure band called Saba Fiction. Sometimes she recommends their songs, though she doesn't genuinely like them. She often talks badly about such things. Her friend then asks if she's listened to the new King and King song, and Kurosaki exclaims, "Yep, it was so good." Suddenly, they hear two boys yelling. One is carrying a plushie, asking the other if he likes anime. The second boy tells him to knock it off. Kurosaki's friend mentions that the boy has a bad habit of bullying others and asks Kurosaki if she agrees. Kurosaki flinches, agrees, and points out that class is about to start. The boy continues by saying anyone with unusual interests quickly becomes a target. If others speak badly about them, they'll start speaking badly about themselves, too. That's why Kurosaki keeps her preferences to herself, to avoid bothering anyone. On her way home, she finds herself on the same train as MC, actually standing close to him. She thinks school sucks, but with exams coming up, everyone is focused on studying. She wonders if her high school of choice is still within reach. Everything seems fine for MC, but her own grades are a bit too low. Just thinking about the upcoming exam stresses her out. She pulls out her phone and decides to listen to Saba Fiction. When she puts in her earbud, the volume is too high, and it startles her. MC looks at her in reaction. She notices and apologizes, embarrassed that the Bluetooth had disconnected and the music came out loudly. she decided to get off at the next station. MC then takes out his phone and searches for the lyrics he just heard, eventually finding the song. On exam day, Kurosaki is on her way to school and looks nervous. She's overwhelmed by both the pressure of exams and the crowded train. To calm herself, she decides to listen to something, but suddenly, her earbud slips from her hand and falls to the floor. She doesn't see where it lands and is frustrated to lose it on such an important day. Although her stop is next, she feels helpless. Then, MC tells her he'll find the earbud and meet her at the station, urging her to go ahead. She tries to reason with him, but he insists she hurries. As she gets off and the train doors begin to close, she keeps running and then realizes something. MC's school uniform means he had to get off at the same station as her. There's no way he'll actually do what he said. She quickly dismisses the thought, reminding herself that she has to hurry. The morning had been rough, but she feels content with how she performed on the test. She knows she'll need to head home soon. Suddenly, she notices MC standing there, and she can't believe he actually waited for her. He calmly says, "Ah, you finally came." He hands her the earbud and advises her to be more careful not to drop it again. She blushes and thanks him. He casually remarks that he's glad there weren't any more problems. As she looks at him, she wonders if what he did was too much for someone just being kind. She calls out to him and mentions how he went out of his way to help her, then asks if maybe he's a bit of a playboy. He simply replies that being nice to people is his motto. She's left uncertain about what he truly meant. When he pulls out his phone, she notices Saba Fiction playing. Curious, she asks how he found out about the band. He responds by asking if she knows them. She says she was just wondering, and he explains that he happened to hear it blasting on the train and thought it sounded good. Kurosaki looks surprised. She tells him that seeing him looking so down makes her feel bad. She suggests that if he listens to Saba Fiction, it might feel like someone is quietly supporting him. He asks if that's really true, and she replies that she likes them too. Kurosaki had always criticized her tastes, so she never had the chance to share them with anyone. But MC gave her the courage to finally express herself. She tells him that once exams are over, they should talk more. The two begin to bond over their shared love for Saba Fiction. This new affection she's growing was once damaged by his previous girlfriend, leaving him emotionally worn down. So, if she were to confess her feelings now, she believes he would likely reject her. Her old habit of lying to herself begins creeping back. She can't be honest anymore. She spent her summer pretending, unable to show her true self. Back in the present, she's still apologizing, still promising herself that she'll be honest next time. That's what she wants, to throw away the cowardly lies. Finally, she asks him if she can stay by his side. She tells him it's because she likes him, and that he should let her stay by his side. He calls her by name and asks if she truly likes him. She agrees, and suddenly MC falls silent. He starts thinking about the words she once said to him, how with that kind of attitude, he wouldn't be able to make any friends, let alone get a girlfriend. He reminds her that, until now, she always ridiculed him and asks if she still doesn't realize how much that hurt him. How sad he's been all this time. He doesn't understand why she's bringing it up now. Even so, he had always blamed himself and accepted it. But now, it feels impossible. She yells that this is exactly why she's not joking today. He tells her no, that it's impossible. She gasps, and he reminds her that even after spending 6 months walking beside each other, he never once felt that she liked him. She tries to explain, and MC tells her that if there's someone you like, you have to cherish them, or else, they'll break. She admits that she was just being cowardly. She wanted to cherish him too, but was scared. Meeting him was the first time she realized she liked someone. She adds that he's the only one who knows she likes Saba Fiction. The only person with whom she can truly share what she enjoys, because they have the same interests. That's why the feeling of liking something doesn't always make a person happy. She begins crying. She says that he was recently dumped and hurt by love, and she was afraid that telling him she liked him might mean losing her place beside him. She feared her love for him would only hurt him. But in truth, the one she didn't want to hurt was herself. It was her own failure. So she apologizes. MC looks at her, completely speechless, while Kurosaki continues crying. He repeats some of her words and starts to understand. It was truly painful when he and Yumi broke up. He had loved her. His heart was shattered. But back then, he couldn't find the words to bridge their growing distance. The fear of expressing his feelings, of smiling in response to someone else's needs, that fear still lingers. Suddenly, he starts laughing. She notices and calls him senpai. He smiles and says that the two of them are both hopeless and clumsy. She looks at him and agrees, saying, "Yeah." Then, quickly moving closer, she asks if this means they've made up. He gives her a confused look and asks if they were even fighting. She stares at him, speechless. Kurosaki, visibly excited, asks if this is MC's first reconciliation. He simply replies that he guesses so. Her excitement grows as she wonders if it's really true. MC then suggests that they become friends. She's shocked. But after everything she's put him through, Kurosaki has no choice but to accept. As they walk together, she starts thinking. Only 1/3 of her feelings have been conveyed. Meanwhile, MC stands there quietly, wondering if what she told him was truly a once-in-a-lifetime confession. She said she likes him, and wants to stay by his side, so her feelings won't fade. Suddenly, she grabs his shirt and calls out to him. She tells him not to forget that she likes him. He replies with a simple, "Sure." But deep down, he doesn't know how to face her from now on. She then asks if it's okay for them to progress to being friends. She feels that's enough, but warns him not to lower his guard. He can't bring himself to fully trust it yet. She continues, saying that she won't hide her feelings anymore. He wonders if simply being by his side isn't enough for her. Then she says that from now on, she'll aim openly to become his girlfriend. While he looks away, she suddenly pulls on MC's ear and calls him again. He asks what she wants. She tells him not to ask what she wants, and whether he even heard what she said. MC confesses he didn't hear anything. So, she declares that they must go on a date this Sunday. She's determined to make him understand that she truly likes him. He looks nervous and quietly agrees. Now it's Sunday, weather check, schedule check, makeup check. Her outfit? Also a check. Kurosaki is ready for the date. At the train station, Kurosaki feels confident about being 15 minutes early, thinking it's perfect. Suddenly, she sees MC already waiting for her. She rushes to him and asks how he got there so early and when he arrived. MC asks why she's surprised and mentions that he's been there for about an hour. Kurosaki had imagined MC arriving late, apologizing for making her wait, and she would say she just got there. If it's for senpai, she can wait as long as needed. She expected this to happen. She even planned it. She's losing from the start of her own plan. She wonders if MC really likes her that much to be an hour early. Still, she's motivated to try and make him fall for her. As they walk toward a building, Kurosaki is reading the notes she wrote, while MC looks up at the big building. Knowing all about MC's interests comes in handy. First, they'll go shopping together and she'll pick out clothes for him. Then they'll go to a wonderful cafe for lunch. In the afternoon, they'll hit up an arcade and try to win prizes. At the end, her confession will be her revenge. MC then calls her name, snapping her out of her daydream. He suddenly gets closer and startles her by asking what she's looking at. She tells him that sneaking up on a girl is bad manners. He apologizes. MC is up for anything, but he just wants to know if she has something she wants to do. She mentions that she wants to go window shopping, and he suggests they do that after lunch. At the shop, he asks what she wants, and she asks if he has something in mind. MC starts thinking. While he's still deciding, she dismisses the question and starts choosing what she wants. She thinks about how good a hamburger looks, but she can't order one on a date. Then MC suggests it. She quickly asks if he wants a hamburger on their date. She adds that if he really wants one, he can have it. Now they are seated eating lunch. She got the hamburger, and she's happily munching on it. MC asks if she doesn't like it, and she says it's delicious. She adds that choosing the chili cheeseburger wasn't a bad idea. With her hand under the table, she looks at her notes and realizes she's failed her mission again. She then starts with small talk, asking if he has tried a burger before. He says no, and that it's his first time. He asks if she likes hers, and she nervously says it's all right. MC thinks it's good but really spicy, so he takes a sip of his drink. She's surprised because he doesn't handle spicy food well. Seeing his reaction, she wonders if he ordered it because of her. She believes she needs to take back control if she wants MC to fall for her. As they walk, she looks around for something. She grabs a dress and asks for his opinion on the style. MC says that anything would look good on her. After hearing this, she asks if he says that to just anyone. He says he only said it to her as a friend. She keeps replaying his words in her head. Now, all she can think about is MC. Later, Kurosaki holds two plushies and asks MC which one he thinks is cute. He says they're both cute and fluffy. She also asks if he's read a new book series, and he says he'll check it out later. She thinks her MC can't seem to decide between the two. They're now in a different store. She keeps thinking about how kind he is, but also how he's not showing his true feelings. Even though they're on a date, they're not getting any closer. She's feeling down when suddenly she hears music playing. It's Saba Fiction. She quickly pulls MC along. He doesn't seem impressed and tells her to check out the album Saba Fiction already released. She asks if it's good, and he says the piano feels like a desperate rush with cool lyrics on top, and that he likes it. She looks at him, thinking about how he only talks about what he likes when it's about Saba Fiction. Suddenly, she realizes she doesn't know much about her MC. She grabs his shirt and asks if he's having fun, and he says, yeah. She tries to believe him. At the cafe, he asks if anything is wrong or if she got tired from walking so much. He jokes that it looks like they put a spell on her food. She says it'll make it taste better. She adds that she'll order the handmade dry ginger ale frappé. Impressed, MC says he'll order the same. She reminds him that he's bad with spice and the drink is spicy. She gets closer to his face, asking if he really wants the same thing. He just says a word, eh. She then tells him she wants to know more about him. Confused, he asks if she means him.